What's going on? This your boy Al, the electrician, aka Brother Al, and I'm back with another one. And I want to talk about the differences between how American women are geared as far as relationships and how foreign women are geared as far as relationships. All right. Now, just to give a little background about myself, excuse me. Um, I've been around half. I've seen about half of the world. I've lived in the Middle East for a year uh, in the military. I've also visited in Africa a few times. I've gotten to know people from around the world, from other places, and so I'm not just this guy that just lives on his street and just that's all I know. All right, I'm a well cultured person, so I'm not just talking out of my tail. I'm talking from anecdotal experience, and I'm also talking from experience of countless other people, as well as just data, right? Just raw data. All right. So coming from all of that, all right, and it's no surprise that America, as far as marriages, and that's the standard, right? I know that culturally in America, they they may argue that marriage is not the standard. That's just some patriarchal force thing relationship on people. Um, and call it what you may, but that's how American people, especially liberal, modernized American people, westernized people, and you can find the same sentiment in the UK and Canada, Australia, you know, a lot of these first world nations, right? Even in European nations, even in with some parts of South America, right, in Mexico, um, we're seeing a lot of liberalism, left wing type of modernized new age relationships where marriage is not the goal. The goal is career. The goal is professionalism, professional achievements, right? The goal is cracking glass ceilings and things like that, where we see relationships kind of take a in on the back end. Besides the fact that, oh, if I want some type of special relationship or non-traditional relationship, then we got to campaign on that. But all right, and that's not my beliefs. That's just what the American belief set is. So naturally, it's no surprise why marriages are at all-time lows and divorces are at all-time highs because it's all about independent, strong, independent self. Love yourself, right? Not necessarily love your family, love your spouse, right? Even during this political time, we've been hearing about people from traditional media outlets saying, forget your family if they have a different opinion. Forget your family, forget your opinions, and have the holidays to yourself. Okay? Um, and that's a sentiment that a lot of Americans has is individualism. It's even though it's weird that they like to say how tolerant they are of others, just as long as you agree with everything that they believe in, right? So, whereas in places that have super high marriage rates and super low divorce rates, we see that in these places, people have a coming togetherness. There's big, huge wedding celebrations. There's big, huge graduation celebrations. There's family reunions every single week. Okay, our weekly family reunions. Some people haven't been to family reunions over here in the West in years. So the whole concept of family, togetherness, yeah, you can say forget opinions, and that's good, but they come together on it, right? Even in agreement with it, because they know that okay, they may have it to make a sacrifice here, but it's for the better good of the family. So it's a whole different type of atmosphere, and it's not that like people like to label it as passport bros or passport bro movement, whatever you want to call it. I, I'm not really big on labels. Labels kind of pretty much divide people. But anyways, there's a movement or of a group of people And I just so happened to be in that. Not, and I didn't even know what it was at first, right? But it's just that people that are marriage minded, that want more than just sex, that people want relationships, right? Lifelong relationships with a person of the opposite sex to build a family with, right? They see that it's not that they can't get women here. That's not the reason. A lot of these men are no diddy, but they do attract women. All right, I'm not gonna say that a man is attractive. All right, but they do attract women, right? No diddy, um, and they in order to travel abroad anyway, you got to be well off to get to these countries. Some of these countries you even had to present proof of financial fitness through a bank statement. You know, you can't be going over there broke or with negative bouncing checks, negative balances. So they want to see that you have a certain amount. You know, probably two stacks in your bank account and your checking savings, whichever one. You know, um, or whatever the country may say. So a lot of these, it's not that these men can't pull women here. The problem is here, the it's like society is geared towards pushing relationships away. I gotta develop my first. I want to get my degree first. I want to establish myself financially first. At least let me buy a house first. I'm like, buy a house. Well, so you got a house, he got a house. What's gonna go on? Was you gonna sell it? You're not gonna make money off of it, really like that. You're just gonna get back pretty much what you paid into the house. you know. So for all of that, you could have just had a. It's I don't know. But to me, people not making financially savvy decisions, and it reflects throughout the relationship decisions, their professional decisions. Because a lot of these degrees don't really amount to nothing much, right? Most people making only around 50K. That's not a lot of money. Okay, I've seen it. People with degrees in my city, and they not making a lot of money because there's like a running, not to joke about people, but it's like a running joke that they call these things basket weaving degrees, and you're making $20 with a degree, 25 to 30 with a master's. That's not a lot of money in today's economy with these types of prices. Maybe back when you was a kid, that would have been that 80K job would have been great, but now it's like now that's just enough to survive, and people are just surviving now. All right, and I know I'm going on a rant onto that, but what I'm saying is that it's all about these decisions, good financial decisions, good relationship decisions, and people are going overseas or becoming friends with people that came here from overseas and finding and becoming friends and fond of them, and they're meeting their women, and they're saying like they're just clicking and having lifelong relationships because of it. I'm not saying that they're having perfect relationships. Every relationship has its issues, but excuse me. But with foreign women, a lot of these men from the West are seeing that despite the issues, the relationships last. Whereas over here, the relationships end in disaster, and then the man losing half his net worth, having to sell off stuff to pay off legal fees and alimony, and the house equity has to get split in half. Well, how you got half the value of the house? Well, you're gonna have to pay that off through a loan. I mean, through selling a house. So, and even if it's not that deep, right? Let's just talk about this situation with most people, where you should be marrying, right? But if you haven't made it to that level and you're in a boyfriend girlfriend relationship, which I don't agree on, that's like so grade school, right? But let's be grown with it and get married. But anyways, no judgment. But even if you're in that, it ends in heartache, and you don't want it that way. So I'm not going to run my mouth to death too much right now as in a monologue. So I'm gonna keep it at around 10. If you're watching at this point, I hope that you will like this, comment, and subscribe, as this had got your attention to that point. So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and let me know what you think about that. And let's discuss this, especially my females out there. If you do watch this content, let me know what you think and how that would work. Um, because I think that if Western women would look towards more traditional cultures, right, and how these cultures have lasted thousands of years, and now they're actually booming because of with modernization and things like that. Big urban environments tend to team and eventually become teeming with people as they multiply and have good family practices. Whereas in the West, you see urban environments decaying and devouring within themselves. And there's all this culture of liberalism, individualism, self loveism, whatever isms you want to throw out there. All right, y'all have a blessed one.